Hi guys, before we start, I just wanted to ask if you would quickly check the link down below. We are on Spotify and there might also be a link to Apple Podcasts if we are on there at this point. So if you just go check those out, it's a really big help to us. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the Geekdom, the place where we outcasts come to talk about the things we love. And welcome to the Geekdom podcast, episode 1. Finally, I've gotten round to doing this and I'm partnered with my very good friend, Ralph. Ralph, why don't you introduce yourself to the people?
Yeah, so I run my own YouTube channel, 87 Cinematic. I do a lot of short films. I do other content like that. I used to do fight analysis, which might be coming back. Got my own podcast starting soon, hopefully. Yeah, that's me. I also edit for Freddie. I've done some of those. I've done like the Young Justice video. I've done most of the Geekdom Christmas videos.
Yeah, most of the Geekdom Christmas videos were done by my good friend.
A lot of TikToks for them as well. I've done quite a bit for this channel.
Basically, if there's an embarrassing moment of me in my videos,
that's me.
He's edited it.
That's me.
That's basically how it works.
There's stuff he's not even caught yet, which is the best thing. So,
which is frankly horrible. But I'm very glad to have you on the podcast.
Yes.
The
definitely.
way this is going to work is that for now, once a month until we get a bit more comfortable, and if this does very very well, then we'll keep it going. But once a month, we're going to sit down, we're going to chat about nerd stuff. So be that movies, current TV, comic books, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, anything that falls under the Geekdom banner, we're here to talk about it. So Ralph, our first topic of discussion, we had a Marvel movie come out recently.
We did. It's a bit late. Sorry, people. We've been setting up for a while.
It's been a bit late, but Captain America Brave New World.
Yes, I saw it opening weekend with the wife and my sister.
Yeah, and what kind of thing did you think about it? First of all, give me a score out of 10, Ralph. Give me a score out of 10.
Out of 10, leaving the cinema, I think I give it a 6. But upon reflection, I think I'd give it a 7. Because...
Really?
Because, right, I'd heard a lot of very mid things going into it, so my expectations were quite low. Maybe a 6.5. Maybe not 7.
Okay.
I think it was a, serviceable, fine movie. I didn't have any major issues with the plot, with the acting, with the characters. I don't really know exactly where all the criticism and hate has come from, and I disagree with quite a lot of it. I do think, it is, not getting too political, I think it is difficult when you have a black Captain America.
It is going to get a lot of hate. I mean that's what happened when he first got announced, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought Anthony Mackie was brilliant, though. I
thought he was the highlight. I thought maybe him and Red Hulk. The one thing I will say, it is a bit odd that they picked 2 Hulk villains for a Captain America film.
I think that's where a lot of the hate's come from, because it seems like a sequel to a hated Marvel film from 2008.
Yeah.
Instead of a Captain America film.
Yeah, 15
years
ago, yeah.
So, when I watched it, I walked out, my first thought was like 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Gave it a couple hours, had a think, maybe a 6.
Yeah. I think it was fine. I'm also quite generous. I go into Marvel films with different expectations to other films.
Okay.
So I have what I call in my head a category of films that are easy to watch.
So you're not expecting Oscar winning?
No,
basically.
Of course not. So, for example, when I go see The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan, I'm holding that to a different set of standards that I hold
an Avengers
Thunderbolts.
Film. Right, okay, I'm with you.
I'm the best example for this, I would say, is Outer Banks. I consider that an easy to watch series because it's not brilliant, it's not perfect, I have some issues with it, but it's fun.
Okay, I get you.
You're not going for brilliant writing and cinematography, you're going for a fun story between some fun actors.
See, I have the same sort of mentality. And when I went to see Captain America, I must say, for specifically the first half of the movie, I thought, we're back. MCU's back. I was like, it's giving me the same vibes as your other Captain America movies.
Yeah.
I like that it's all about the government, and it's, you've got a war about Tiamat and all that sort of stuff. I thought that was going to be really, really cool.
The Tiamat fight scene as well, I might add, was very good.
One of the best fight scenes we've seen in ages.
And I think, despite a lot of flying characters existing in Marvel, it still looked quite unique.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I really liked, I think they said they took inspiration from Top Gun Maverick, which I think really works for
I saw that, yeah.
Essentially fighter pilots as superheroes.
I must say, by the way, just a quick thing, is his name Joaquin Torres, the new Falcon?
I love him.
Love him. He's so good. I think if we've got a new Captain America always needs a Falcon. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that he's around.
Yeah.
I must say, I know for a lot of people, the Red Hulk stuff was like a highlight. For me, completely tanked the film.
Really?
Like, I didn't think that the Thinker, or whatever his name was even that exciting. I was more interested in like actually seeing how Captain America operates as Sam Wilson. But the Red Hulk stuff, I was really excited, and it might have just been the atrocious green screen
At the end.
Yeah,
that was bad. That was.
But I don't care if he's got vibranium wings. I just don't see how Sam Wilson beats a Hulk.
I think if they wanted to go, because they obviously looked at like Civil War and Winter Soldier specifically of these are considered to be, top 10, top 5. A lot of people, including myself, put Winter Soldier 1 for Marvel films.
Okay, you're a Winter Soldier.
I love Winter Soldier.
Okay, I like that.
I think they definitely looked at those and went for like a lot of inspiration to try and see what worked for those films and try and apply them to these new characters. And I think that actually, it's not the Lizard League, that's Invincible.
That's
the Serpent
Invincible.
Society.
The Serpent Society, yeah.
I think they would have been a better villain group. Maybe you have the leader as operating them from the shadows, a bit like, Pierce was for Hydra in Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I think that might have been better than bringing the Red Hulk in. And also, it feels a bit weird because, Marvel's operated with a lot of secrecy. So, the President's, aide, who was also Sam's friend, I can't remember what she was called.
Not the Red Room assassin.
The other one. The black woman.
Yeah, because at first I thought, when he first referenced her and stuff, I thought, are we going to meet Sam's sister? But then I was like, it's just not her.
Yeah.
So I don't know who that is.
But when the actress was cast, we didn't know what character she was playing until the film. Now that seems like a very minute secret.
Yeah.
It seems like something you would just come out, this character is going to be this actress is playing this character, because really she wasn't a key character to the story. She wasn't definitely a reveal. For example, if you'd have kept Red Hulk, obviously a lot of people would have speculated, you bring in Ross back,
you're going to
do Red Hulk at some point. But if you'd have kept the Red Hulk reveal until the film, I think it would have landed better.
Me too, but it's in all the promotions.
Exactly. Because also, when you first see Red Hulk, you get the, oh my god, it's Red Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're given 3-4 months to process. Sam Wilson's not got super soldier serum. He's got vibranium wings. Maybe he'll get adamantium stuff later on.
Mm-hmm.
How is he going to fight a Hulk?
And
if you had that reveal in the cinema, you probably wouldn't be thinking that as much.
And my thing was,
until later on,
they revealed in the film that his wings can do what Black Panther's suit does, where it expels that purple energy. And when I first saw that in the movie, I was like, okay, maybe this is how they're going to do it, because it's basically going to count as super strength.
Yeah, it's basically whatever the Hulk can do, I can throw back
in.
in.
But when it was the actual Hulk fight, they used it as this shows how strong the Hulk is, because the vibranium wings were struggling under the impact.
And he just tore them off straight away.
Tore them off. So I was like...
Yeah, it was a bit... I would have appreciated more of a assassination attempt, siege on the White House as the final battle from the Serpent
not the Lizard League.
Not the Lizard League.
We'll get to Invincible later.
Yeah, that's next on the agenda. But yeah, overall, I thought it was solid. I think, the simpler you make a Marvel film, the better it will come across. I think it's been a lot better than some more recent post-Endgame projects.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it clears Eternals. It clears
anything clears Eternals.
Yeah.
That movie's it clears Black Widow for me. I didn't like that.
Black Widow.
I think the only things that have held up have been Guardians
held
and
up.
the Spider films.
Spider-Man. There's
some of the shows are good as well. Moon Knight is amazing. We're still waiting on season 2.
I still love Loki.
Loki's great. Loved Loki both seasons.
I did enjoy Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I would say, and this is my hot take, right?
Preferred it to the film.
First of all, I preferred it to the film. Second of all, it clears WandaVision for me.
I think WandaVision's so overrated. I think it's because it was the first one.
Yeah, I think it's so overrated. And the bits that I hate are the bits that people love. I hate the first episode of WandaVision.
What? They're just because it's a sitcom.
Because it's just a sitcom. I love that they've gone for a different sort of style.
I think
that's carried off better in later episodes.
I think it works. Just being episode 1 and episode 2 are sitcom episodes. Yeah. I think it because you obviously when you first started watching it, you were very confused as to what was happening, and then it's is it the second one when the beekeeper comes out or something. Or
You see, that's what I was going to say. Like, I think in the second one, when the beekeeper comes out and it's clear that we're in some sort of simulation-y thing, that's when it hit for me. But for the first episode, because there was nothing, I was just like, I'm just watching a sitcom.
I think a lot of people were like, and that's when people started to turn on the MCU, because a lot of people saw that first episode and was like, I'm not going to bother with that. And then they go straight into Multiverse of Madness, not watching
anything, yeah.
And it makes no sense anymore what's the direction of the MCU. And I think Captain America's better than Multiverse, by the way.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, my thing is like, because as you were just saying, I think the amount of weight that the Disney Plus shows carry, for the people who don't have Disney Plus and maybe they can't afford it, maybe they can't get whatever, maybe they can't access these shows, the more weight you put on those shows, the more difficult it is for people to care about your movies. Like Multiverse, I think it struggled because not everyone watched WandaVision.
I feel like Netflix is maybe a bit more accessible or a lot more popular than Disney Plus, or especially earlier on in Disney Plus's life cycle.
Definitely, yeah.
But even when you brought Daredevil into
Disney Plus,
No Way Home.
Oh God, yeah.
When you brought Daredevil into No Way Home, and then you brought Kingpin obviously brought him into the Disney Plus shows,
like Hawkeye and
Hawkeye, yeah. And
did anyone watch Echo?
I've not watched it.
I didn't watch it.
But
yeah,
I think that's it can work, but I feel like the Disney Plus shows should be there to introduce new characters.
Yeah.
And then you can weave them into it.
See, I think Captain America handled it really well, because I feel like the gap is bridged. You don't need to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier to get it.
Yeah.
Because at the start of Falcon and Winter Soldier, he's given up the shield, and then he's Captain America at the end. But if you've just watched Endgame, you see him get the shield,
and then you just assume he's gone straight into it.
You assume it, yeah.
Exactly. So I think the Disney Plus shows are good, but I think they should be there to complement the films, not to set up the films.
Now, with regards to Thunderbolts coming out soon, do you agree with me that Captain America Brave New World should have come out after? Because I think we should have had more stuff about Thunderbolt Ross and his presidency. Maybe he's developed this team. Like, we're going to Invincible again, but Cecil Stedman, obviously using criminals and stuff as heroes. Do you think that we should have had Thunderbolts first, Brave New World second?
I think I would have to see Thunderbolts first, because I feel like we saw in the trailer for Thunderbolts, Val says, like, we can't rely on the Avengers anymore. I feel like that's a callback to Thaddeus Ross wanting to restart the Avengers with Sam Wilson, Captain America, and now we can't trust Thaddeus Ross. I feel like it's still going to be quite a divided opinion on that president, because you see at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier him going to prison, taking accountability for his actions. I feel like some people will then in the world say, he's redeemed himself. Others will then say, nah, he still tore up the White House and our nation's capital. I feel like he's going to be quite dividing that, and I feel like Val's going to play on that to get her own team. I felt like the asterisk in Thunderbolts' title was going to be because it would be a spoiler for Brave New World, was kind of the leading theory.
I'm not sure.
Now I think, just going off the trailer, Val calls them like the Thunderbolts, and they're not keen on it because of what's happened with Ross and his nickname being Thunderbolt.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like it's going to be like a spoiler for Thunderbolts, that it's going to end being like the Dark Avengers or something like that.
Okay, so do you reckon the Thunderbolts will still be a team at the end of the Thunderbolts movie, or do you reckon it's like a one-shot?
I think they will be.
All right, okay. So you reckon they're going to be in Doomsday and stuff?
Yeah, I think we're now obviously on the road to Doomsday. We had pretty much the first tease of it in the post-credit scene for Brave New World.
Yeah.
And I think that somehow probably Sentry and the Void will play a part. I think also, this isn't my theory, I've stole this from New Rockstars, so thanks Eric, love you.
We love New Rockstars.
I think that the TVA Void will serve as like the starting point for Battleworld, which I think they'll bring into Secret Wars.
Oh, okay, I'm with you. With regards to, have you read any Secret Wars, anything like that?
I've been waiting. I've been trying to find like which ones I need to read, because there's some people are saying you need to read different stuff. So I'm just trying to get a list of stuff I need to read.
Well,
for Secret Wars, basically.
With the concept art being leaked, which Marvel, we all know you did it on purpose. We all know you're trying to drum up some publicity.
Do you reckon?
I think so, and I think it's very clear which Secret Wars they're going to draw from, because there's been two in the comics.
They've been talking about it for well, the Russos have been talking about wanting to do the Hickman run, right?
Well, I actually can't remember which writer did. Was it Hickman who did the second Secret Wars, or was it the original?
I think he did both, did he not?
Well, the second Secret Wars which is basically, we've seen all this concept art at the minute of God Emperor Doom.
God Emperor Doom, yeah.
Now, we all know Doctor Doom's coming. A lot of people are really unhappy that we might be getting God Emperor Doom this early, like his first appearance being God Emperor. But all that sort of stuff, him having like Doctor Strange as like a right hand, that's all Secret Wars 2.
Right.
So, I don't know if we're going to take elements from both, but I'm not 100% sure.
I was thinking about this the other day, right? You could have done... I think MCU fumbled the multiverse so hard.
Oh, it's so bad, yeah.
Because I think in Multiverse of Madness, you could have established your rules. So the dreaming is peering into all the multiverses. Whether you like it or not, that's a rule you set in. You've then got the incursions. You've then got like...
Still don't get that. Loki was too complicated for me.
You've then got like... Yeah, Loki setting up with the branches. So I think you start it with season 1 of Loki where they kill He Who Remains.
Yeah.
And now you've got all the branches. And then you end up with Loki season 2 with God of Stories Loki.
Yeah.
You could have had... I know this is going on a tangent, but
that's what this is for. That's what this is for.
You could have had, even on Disney Plus and a couple of films, you could have had like, you know, Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
Yeah.
How he's completely separate to the continuity, and Robert Pattinson Batman is completely separate to the continuity of the DCU. You could have had those type stories.
Right, okay.
So say Moon Knight takes place in an alternate universe. You then have...
See, that's what I hoped What If was going to be.
You could have done it in What If.
Awful.
You could then have like a Peggy Carter Captain America, since they love that. You could have had a new T'Challa in a different
what, and you
multiverse.
think bring them in for Doomsday?
And then you build in all that to set up this multiverse event, which obviously would have been Kang, but is now Doomsday.
Yeah.
I think you could have set it up so well, and you probably would have confused people at first of like, you've spent so long building this one continuity, and now you're building separate stuff. But I think it could have worked so well, and like, if you'd have worked with Sony to get Venom and Adam Webb and other Sony projects on board with that, because I feel like Tom Holland's got to get the symbiote at some point.
Well, thing is, if they do Secret Wars and they do it properly, that's where Spider-Man gets the black suit.
Exactly.
So I think they've got to do it there. I mean, I thought it was so dumb. Like at the end of No Way Home, the post-credit scene, there's just that bit. But have you seen Venom 3?
I have not.
They get rid of it.
Yeah.
So what was the point?
Yeah, which also doesn't make sense, because was the point that not in the MCU and then they made it in the...
No, I didn't bother watching Venom 3 because Venom was rubbish. But I have no idea what the point was. And even at the end of Morbius, the greatest film of all time, they tried to set up Vulture coming from the MCU universe to the Morbius universe. Like, what was this supposed to be?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what they... But, I mean, what I want to ask you is, have you ever heard of the Ultimate Universe in comics?
I've heard of, like, Ultimate Spider-Man and...
So, basically...
Like that. Is that not where Miles Morales comes from?
Originally, yes. There's been two Ultimate Universes. There was the original Ultimate Universe, which started around Spider-Man. There was Ultimate Spider-Man. Basically, they were like, the main continuity Spider-Man, he's like married and he's older, he's not in college anymore. So like, let's just restart with a high school Spider-Man and just redo the story in a different way.
Yeah,
completely
so
aside from
something like that.
So that branched off. You started with Spider-Man, you had the Ultimates, which was basically the Avengers, that brought you Miles, then that universe collapsed, and Miles went over or whatever. But then they've established this new Ultimate Universe recently, which is some of the greatest comic books I've ever read, which is allowing for these different like interpretations of these characters, which I think would have been so much better than what we got for What If.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, even like you look at it now, the Fantastic Four film is in a separate universe.
Yes.
Like, they could have established an X-Men, mutants in another universe. I think they tried to do that with the end of the Marvels, but like that would have made so much more sense if you'd have then had a X-Men Disney Plus show and she goes into that universe, or an X-Men film and she goes into that universe, or even like a Charles Xavier film and they go into that universe.
Well, a lot of people are saying now that X-Men 97 is a part of the MCU.
Well, it's got I
do you reckon
shocked, but
the Marvel's post-credit Carol goes, or was it Carol or was it
no, it's
Monica Rambeau?
Monica, yeah.
Do you reckon she went to the 97?
Wait, is Monica a mum or a daughter?
Either way, whatever.
One of the Rambos.
One of the Rambos goes and she meets Beast.
Yeah.
So
that could be the...
do you reckon that's 97 universe, or do you reckon
Was he not voiced by Kelsey Grammer in it, though?
I'm not 100% sure.
I feel like he was, who obviously didn't voice the 97 series. True. But it was also, it didn't look exactly like the
It didn't look like 97. It didn't look like the Foxverse.
It doesn't look like the Foxverse, no.
Because I thought that, like, when we got Deadpool and Wolverine,
Yeah.
I thought that was going to tie everything in. Deadpool basically just went, we're in the MCU now.
Well, the Multiverse of Madness, Charles, did he not have the chair from 97?
Yeah, but I don't know if that's a design shot, because that was Earth, what was it, 838 or whatever it was called.
Who cares? Who gives a shit? But, Can we swear on this, by the way, because I just have
Yeah, swear all you like. But, I think that was a fan service. More, I don't think that's the 97
Well,
of the
I was
universe.
going to say, like...
I think it's just like fan service. I don't think
So, do you reckon that Charles is the Charles... Is the universe that Monica went to?
I think so. I think it could be. I think that universe is what I would deem a perfect Marvel universe, because you've clearly got the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and the Avengers, which is basically, how have we not had that yet?
I feel like they might do that with the Fantastic Four film. I feel like you are gonna. I've got a gut feeling we're gonna see a Spider-Man in it.
Do you reckon?
Just because of how I don't know if it's Tom Holland.
Do you reckon we'll see an in-universe Spider-Man, or do you reckon they'll come over to us and meet Tom?
I think they're gonna go for almost like a what if we had all the rights. So I don't know if maybe he won't appear in it. Maybe we'll get a Daily Bugle and someone will mention Spider-Man. And
you think they're gonna reference these characters?
And I feel like they may also reference an X-Men in there, and then maybe it's just the Fantastic Four, like the Baxter Building plus, that neighborhood of New York ends up in either Battleworld or the MCU.
Oh, okay.
And then you'll get, is it Westchester where the X-Men are from?
Yeah.
From a different universe.
Oh, so you think they're all going to come together that way?
And then you maybe even get the Sony-verse, or the Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire Spider-Man that way. I feel like Spider-Man's got to be so important going into this, and it's such a shame that Disney hasn't bought Sony yet.
See, I reckon if we do get Spider-Man in the Fantastic Four world, I reckon we'll get, like... Because it's all done in like a 50s, 60s vibe.
Yeah, it's like a retrofuturism.
I reckon we'll get Amazing Fantasy #1, yellow sweater vest, Peter Parker. Like, it's very clear who he is. Maybe they do a little tease. You see a kid get bitten by a spider in the Baxter Building, something like that, and we won't see him for the rest of it. But Spider-Man is so integral to the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I'd be so surprised if we don't see him.
Yeah, I would be as well, yeah.
So, with regards to Battleworld and all of these people...
Sorry, just to answer your first question, no, I don't think Thunderbolts should have come out before Captain America.
That was quite a tangent, wasn't it?
That
wow.
was a tangent.
I
looked at the timer, that was 10 minutes ago.
Wow, okay. Well, that's what this is for. It's for us to waffle. But, Battleworld, let's get grounded now. We have had not only all of this concept art leaked, but we've had so many rumours of character returns.
We've also seen, do you see the leaked, cast call sheet?
I never trust anything like that, but do we have anything on there that's exciting?
There was no one exciting other than, obviously, who we know. The only one, really, that was a bit 50-50 was, Elizabeth Olsen.
Okay.
Wanda.
Okay. I mean, she's alive. We all know she's alive.
We're pretty sure she's alive, yeah. But anyway, yes. There was a report that was, over 60... I feel like it was 60. I've written down 60, so I hope it was 60.
Yeah.
Over 60 characters returning from...
we don't know. Wider Marvel.
For Doomsday and Secret Wars.
So my question for you is...
Yes.
If you could have five characters, it can be from anything. It could literally just be like, oh, I definitely want Sam Wilson to be in it. Or it could be, I want Tobey Maguire.
Right.
They can either come back or they can come back. You know what I mean? So if you could have a 5, who are you going for?
I think... This might just be recency bias because we've both been rewatching Netflix's Daredevil.
Yep.
I want Daredevil in it.
Yep, of course.
And I'm going to group Punisher in with him because I only get 5.
Okay. So you basically want
I want the
Netflix verse.
I want the Netflix verse minus the Defenders.
Yeah.
Plus Daredevil.
No Iron Fist. I hate him. Anyway, so you've got Daredevil and Punisher.
Daredevil and Punisher.
Specifically those versions, though. Yeah, the Netflix version.
Yeah. I don't want Ben Affleck. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, Ben. No, never come back.
Moon Knight has to come back.
Yeah, I need Moon Knight in there.
I would appreciate some multiversal Spider-Man. I would love a Daniel Kaluuya, Hobie Brown. Is that his name?
Daniel Kaluuya.
Kaluuya.
Yeah, I'd love that. Actually.
Hobie Brown.
Would you want it to be Spider-Verse?
Yeah, I want it. Yeah, for the animated one.
Right. Okay.
Live actioned.
But
And
it is that character from the movie. It's got all the memories of that.
Yeah. I want that character to be part of some incursion. I feel like they are setting it up, but I felt like it was more likely to be Tom Holland goes into the animated rather than the other way around. So that's my like wild one. Who else would I like to return?
It could even just be a character that you've not seen in an MCU movie for a while. It could be Kate Bishop. It could be. Is there any characters from Secret Wars, like the actual comics, that you would like to see that maybe haven't been brought to screen yet?
I feel like we need to have some Doom variants.
Oh, so you want multiple Dooms? Okay.
Whether that is RDJ or because we've seen with like Multiverse of Madness they use like fan casts, and with Deadpool and Wolverine they used Henry Cavill, and with Multiverse of Madness they used John Krasinski. Even if it was like, I want to say Cillian Murphy because everyone cast him, but I don't want them to waste Cillian Murphy on a cameo.
I also think that if they brought Cillian Murphy in, everyone would be like, why did we go for RDJ? Why have we got Cillian as a cameo?
I agree. But at the same time, they did that with Henry Cavill, who's a great actor, and the same with John Krasinski, who's also a great actor.
Oh, so you literally just want a cameo? Like, Cillian Murphy turns around D. Hoods.
I'm not saying Cillian Murphy because I would want him just to be Doom, personally.
Okay.
But I feel like some sort of fan cast cameo of an actor who, Marvel were never thinking of, but they want to delve out some fan service for a Doom. I feel like the Spider-Men have to come back. I'm going off the top 5, but I feel like some Spider-Men have to come back, whether that be Tobey and Andrew, whether that's just one of them. Mm-hmm. Tom Holland's obviously going to be in it. What about you? Who are you thinking?
So, I'm the same as you. First of all, I want Daredevil.
Yeah.
He will be in it because of how popular Born Again is.
Yeah. And I feel like they wouldn't release Born Again now if they were leading up to it.
I'm not as fussed about Punisher. I just want to make sure my boy Daredevil's in it. Maybe give him the black suit. Give him something that's like the fans really want from him. You know what I mean? So Daredevil.
I just want 2 Ds on his chest.
Yes, please.
Put 2 Ds
just
on
give
his
him
chest.
the double Ds.
Give him double Ds.
Give Daredevil double Ds.
Hashtag Daredevil deserves double Ds.
Wow, that's a lot of alliteration. But anyway, Daredevil. Thing is, right? I think, and this is just a personal headcanon / theory. In Multiverse of Madness, you know that bit when him and America Chavez are like falling through all the different multiverses?
Yeah.
There's one where they go into one that's an animation style that is basically the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man animation style.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if we got that version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to put my card in now because I saw a piece of concept art that I'm not sure if it's real or fake. It's not been posted as much as the other ones, so I'm not 100% sure. Mm-hmm. I reckon we'll just get a vast amount of spiders. Basically every spider they can find. I reckon we'll see Miles. I reckon we'll get all of them. But the only problem is, I think everyone's pretty much certain we're going to see Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Because if we get the X-Men, the Fox X-Men, people want to see Tobey and they want to see Hugh Jackman together on screen, right? It's just a thing.
Right.
But I feel like if they do that, it's going to make it so difficult for them to give Tom the black suit, because Tobey will go, I've had it, it's an alien, get it off. You know what I mean?
But that could be an interesting, plot point. So maybe Tom Holland gets it, because I think, is Spider-Man 4 not coming out in between Doomsday and Secret Wars?
I think it's in between.
So what if he gets it in that film?
Oh, that's true.
He ends with it still on.
Yeah.
And then Toby's the one warning him, but obviously the symbiote is messing with his brain, so he's not listening to him.
See, the thing about the black suit for me is, I went back and I was reading some of the original black suit comic books. The whole it's an alien thing that's messing his mind and making him angry and mean, not in the comics.
Is that just...
It's not there.
In any of them, or just not originally?
So I think it was actually made for the Spider-Man 3 movie in the 2000s. Because in it, obviously it's very clear that it's like a living costume or whatever, but it's not damaging him at all.
Right.
And he wears the black suit for such a long period of time. And then, because Todd McFarlane hated him wearing the black suit and wanted him back in the red and blues, he made it so that because it's a living costume, it's Venom, evil. And then Venom was evil. You know what I mean? And then he made it hate Spider-Man. But while he's wearing the costume, he's still basically just regular Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying I want that, because I quite like the whole parasite angle. Yeah. But what I do want is I want to see him wear it for quite a while.
In No Way Home, I wanted him just to go... when May dies, I just wanted him to go out and just smoke all them
Yeah.
police that were chasing him.
Really wanted him to smoke him, like proper evil Spider-Man.
I think
That's a hot take, man.
it would have made a lot more sense if he had the symbiote when if he battered the police officers, because obviously evil. But I just wanted him to be like, because I feel like the Spider-Man films were really good at making it seem like he was completely down for the count.
You see, that whole idea of him now right at the end of it, when he's literally forgone his Peter Parker identity sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's leading into the most hated Spider-Man run, but my personal favourite.
Which is...
The Clone Saga.
Right.
Which takes me back to my top 5. At some point, I want something to tease either Miles Warren's Jackal or Ben Reilly.
The goat, yeah.
My goat, I want the Scarlet Spider at some point.
Yeah.
I don't care how we do it. I don't care if I have to wait 20 years. I want Ben Reilly on screen. I also want...
Even if we have to do it ourselves.
I will do it myself, Marvel. Don't tempt me. But number 4 on my top 5, and it's very in keeping with the number 4, I want the Council of Reeds. Which
now, I'm very unfamiliar with this,
basically,
because I'm less of a nerd than you.
In the comics, Reed Richards just chills with a bunch of other Richards. So imagine Miles Teller, the 2000s guy whose name I've completely forgotten for some reason, and then Pedro Pascal, and they're all just vibing.
Yeah.
John Krasinski.
You could bring him back, yeah. Or even just like, you could bring back other people for it.
Anyone. I just want a bunch of Reeds.
Or you could, that could be, sorry to interrupt you, that could be the replacement for the Council of Kangs. Because they're all Jonathan Major. You could have like, 3 Miles Tellers, or for your thing of...
This is my thing. I want them to do The Maker, who, if the audience don't know, is a evil version of Reed Richards, who super smart. He's what caused the new Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
He basically erased a bunch of people's superpowers
from
the point they get them. So Spider-Man never got bit because he took the spider first. So he is like super evil. He's not great. He's in Secret Wars, the second one in the comics.
Right.
And I think it would be a great shoe-in. I think if they want... Now that Miles Teller specifically is like huge at the minute, like everyone loves him, I feel like even though he had a terrible movie, you could use that really well as the Maker.
Yeah. So you could have like 1 Miles Teller, you could have like 20 Pedro Pascal Reed Richards, you could have a handful of John Krasinski's, a handful of the other guy from
2000s guy
who we can't remember. I'm just going to check the audio recording.
That's fine.
Camera recording issues.
I'm just going to talk to my camera.
Yeah.
So, and then the 5th one on my list would be who's a fun character that I like. I don't want them to bring Iron Man back at all.
Me neither, really.
But I would like some other, just because I'm the world's biggest Spider-Man fan, I think, and I would like just some villains that we haven't seen, or at least like a super comic accurate like Doc Ock or something would make me really happy.
That'd be quite cool. I feel like though they're gonna want to avoid. See, I have this terrible feeling that they're gonna start the film with like God Emperor Doom killing Thanos with like all 6 stones in an alternate universe. I feel like that would just...
Have you seen that bit of Secret Wars? Where God Emperor Doom rips Thanos' skull and spine out?
Well, yeah. So I feel like they might do that, but I just kind of feel like it kind of just... I get the point of doing that is to show that...
Doom's super powerful.
How powerful Doom is compared to Thanos, who you took 5 hours worth of film to defeat.
My thing is...
But I feel like it just deads everything we've already done.
Really cheapens it, because it's what happened with Infinity Ultron in What If. He literally just sliced him down the middle, and it's done. My thing is, the thing that worries me the most is, we had Thanos set up for about 10 years.
We've had Doom set up for about 5 minutes.
If they do not... Because we know that Galactus is the villain of Fantastic Four, that and Silver Surfer is his herald.
Yeah.
Where's the setup for Doctor Doom?
I feel like
unless Doomsday is the setup and Secret Wars is his thing.
I think Doom has to be in Fantastic Four. It's whether they establish that the RDJ God Emperor Doom is the Doom of the Fantastic Four's universe, or if he's travelled...
I think it is a really missed opportunity if it's not.
I agree.
Because if you want us to be afraid of Doom... The only people that could already be connected to that is the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
so
I feel like you need... in Infinity War, when Hulk crashes through in the Sanctum Sanctorum and goes, Thanos is coming. Yeah. He's coming. You need that, but you have it Reed Richards.
Yeah, you need the Four to be afraid. Like, otherwise, if they're just like, who's this guy? We're all just going to be like, who cares? We already think Robert Downey Jr. as Doom is a bit of a joke, realistically.
I'm warmer on it now.
Really?
I am warmer on it now. Because I think there's a lot of good, like, plot devices. Looking at it from a writing and a film perspective, there's a lot of good plot devices for him having Tony Stark's face.
I just don't know if I can be bothered with all the, it's Tony. No, it's not. It's Doom. And, oh, we can't kill him because he looks like Tony.
That could that could be a problem. That could get a bit dead. And like I said, I would prefer Cillian Murphy because I think he is one of the greatest actors walking the planet right now.
Really?
I love Cillian Murphy so much.
I just don't think I've absorbed enough Cillian Murphy.
You need to watch all the Peaky Blinders. You need to watch Oppenheimer. You need to watch fucking... He's in Dunkirk, but I haven't watched Dunkirk. He was in... he's in a lot of really good...
Yeah.
He's in a lot of really good shit, and he's a really good actor. And the thing... I said this to you when Downey was first cast. Now, I'm not a avid comics reader. I haven't read a lot of Fantastic Four. But from watching the films... a lot of Doctor Doom, personality-wise, adjectives you would describe him is the same you'd use to describe Tony Stark. And now I think Robert Downey Jr. is an amazing actor, but I don't know if he's got enough light and shade in his performance of the same descriptives to make it different enough from Tony Stark.
I don't want Tony Stark wearing a Doctor Doom costume.
Exactly.
I hate that.
So, like, Robert Downey Jr. is a very capable actor of going from an Iron Man to Strauss from Oppenheimer to Sherlock Holmes or to these people. He can do a lot. He can do big jumps, which a lot of actors can't do. So, this isn't a criticism of him. It's the smaller jumps sometimes that you struggle. I mean, we've acted, we've performed. Yeah. It's hard to, and I've been cast a lot as like a moody teenager or a teenager who's a bit, grumpy or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find and obviously I'm not a professional actor and Robert Downey Jr. is.
Yeah,
and
Robert Downey Jr. get paid the big bucks. We do it
for a
free.
reason, yeah. But the point is, showing the same thing differently is sometimes harder than showing the polar opposite.
You see, because of that, and because I think Feige probably thought the same things that we're doing, like would he be able to pull it off? I was both concerned and a little bit excited that they might go down the Iron Doom route. Do you know what that is?
It's pretty much where Iron Man becomes Doctor Doom.
There is a world where...
But they've said they're not, haven't they?
Yes, but I wasn't sure. Now that we've got concept art, which we will take a look at in a minute, there is a world where Doctor Doom basically wears an Iron Man suit. Right. And I thought, if they're going for the metal mask and stuff of Doom, they might just go down the Iron Man route. But I'm glad they're not.
Do you hear my interpretation of New Mask, Same Task? I think it's the Peace in Our Time from Age of Ultron, and it's Doom's twisted logic of now after Loki, the multiverse can never be at peace. We need a sacred timeline, basically, to keep nature in order. Because otherwise we're just going to have incursions and multiversal wars. So I think this is him taking it upon himself to clip all the branches.
So you think he's going to basically get all the big hitters from the multiverse into Battleworld and get them himself?
Yeah, I think Battleworld will be like what remains of the universes that he destroys. And then maybe the result of it will be a more sort of Silver Age MCU where you have the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, the X-Men, Spider-Man... Mm-hmm. in the same universe.
Now, here's a question I have for you.
Ask away, my friend.
You've given me a little bit of inspiration there. If it is, he's trying to get all of these heavy hitters onto Battleworld to try and get them. Mm-hmm. We were introduced to a concept in Deadpool and Wolverine that I thought was a bit weird out of the blue. Yeah. And that is your anchor beings. Do you reckon he brings anchor beings in, kills them, and that way the timelines just
that could be an option, but my theory is that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is the anchor being of the MCU, so I don't want that to happen.
No, but that's my point. Like, the MCU won't die.
Right.
Because obviously the MCU won't die, because it's...
Yeah.
So Tom wouldn't die, but...
Maybe it's the anchor beings that he sends to Battleworld.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe,
right.
Maybe he brings the anchor beings in.
Yeah.
And tries to kill them all. We'll see a bunch of them wiped off the planet, so maybe we do see, like, Miles Teller's Mr. Fantastic wiped, or we'll see Charles Xavier from the Foxverse wiped. But Fantastic Four will have to leave their world because their world gets destroyed or whatever, and then they come into the main continuity. Like, maybe that's Because obviously pruning isn't a thing anymore, and those like world-destroying machines we saw in Deadpool and Wolverine aren't really a thing. So the only way to get rid of a world is to kill the anchor being, right?
Which I think maybe where Loki could return, because I feel like he's going to have to kill that version of Loki in the TVA. Like the intro, it'd be quite funny if you go from the start of Infinity War being Thanos kills Loki to the start of Doomsday being
he kills Loki.
Or maybe not killing Loki, but maybe just like removing him from the world.
Yeah, maybe he just gets locked there, so Loki can't do anything. Because obviously Loki's in charge of the branches right now. He can't do anything if he's incapacitated.
I feel like the Thor holding Deadpool, which is obviously going to be in it, we hope. Yeah. We hope.
I reckon that's another anchor being gets pruned. It's start of the film sort of vibe.
That could be like somehow Deadpool switching places with Loki, and then that's why Loki's pulled out of God of Stories and he's back into the main continuity of the multiverse.
I reckon we'll just get like...
And Deadpool just becomes like an MCU narrator, basically.
I reckon once we watch Doomsday and we watch Secret Wars...
Then we'll know what happens in Doomsday and Secret Wars.
A lot of the random stuff from Deadpool and Wolverine that I was just like, this feels so out of place and random, will make sense. I feel like there's certain bits of that seem out of place in that movie that are setting up stuff for Doomsday. Like multiversal stuff that we need to know. You know what I mean? Like stuff about anchor beings. Like how do you fit that into Doomsday? You know what I mean?
Well, speaking of anchor beings, or speaking of the multiverse, I should say.
Yeah.
Invincible's most recent episode has had a big multiversal crossover. I don't think you've up to date.
I'm not up to date. So
you know what happens.
Invincible is one of my favourite stories ever. I've read so many of the comics. I've watched almost all the show. I'm 4 episodes into the latest season.
Yeah. So
I know all about Invincible War, right? I know all that stuff. What did you think of it? Because obviously I've read the comics, but I haven't seen how it's translated into the TV.
I'm not sure yet. I need to see how it lands. Because there's going to be another season after this one?
They are planning to do about 7 seasons of this show, and we're on season 3. So
I just have a feeling that it's not, because they like to do this, not going to be resolved within the season. A lot of shows are like, we'll have a villain for a season, and by the end of the season, it's resolved. You think by the end of... Because the final episode comes out on Thursday? Thursday, right? Yeah.
So
I don't think...
So you reckon it's just going to be cliffhanger?
Yeah, so who's the guy who brings them all? I can't remember his name again.
Well, we've got a few big hitters. I don't know which one you mean. So do you mean Angstrom Levy, who brings all of the...
Yeah, the guy who he smashes his face at the end of last season. So I don't think he comes back in the finale.
Me neither. I reckon I don't actually know which bits are kept in the show, so I'm...
So basically, the way that episode 7 ends? So basically, episode 6 ends with like them destroying it all. They meet at Mark's house. Angstrom Levy comes in, and like Mark's helping build it, and Eve's in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And then episode 7 starts, and they're like, Angstrom Levy's like to all the other Invincibles, bring Mark to me.
Yeah.
And they say, no, we did what you asked us. You've not done what we asked you. So he sends them to the place where Mark killed him in season 2.
Oh, the dimension where
the dimension, yeah.
Yeah.
So he sends them there, and that's the last we've heard of them as of yet, as far as I can remember.
Right. Okay.
And then him and Mark fight. Mark pulls his arm off, and he escapes to the surgeons that put his face back together, and tells them, "Make me a new arm." And they say, "Nah, you didn't keep our promises either. We'll fix you once we get our guarantees," basically.
So have you met the big Viltrumites yet?
Is it Conquest?
Like Conquest and Thrag and all that sort of stuff.
Conquest appears at the end of episode 7.
Right, okay.
So Mark's helping rebuild. Conquest comes down and basically says, "You've not prepared the world for the Viltrumite invasion." And Mark's like, "I'm very angry. I'm going to punch you really hard."
Thursday's fight, does it end before the fight?
It ends with them colliding.
Thursday's fight is huge.
Yeah.
It's big in the comics. It's like one of the biggest things in the comics. But I wanted to talk to you specifically about Invincible variants.
Right.
Now, I mean, a lot of people have their favourites. I personally love Sinister Mark. I love the yellow cape, black suit.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a favourite Invincible?
I'm assuming we're just ignoring the name.
Ignore main Mark. Favourite alternate Invincible?
Alternate Invincible. I thought... This is so morbid, but the one that killed all the Guardians was quite funny because he was just like...
Remind me again which costume that is, because I haven't read the comics in a while.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's... He's like... basically making fun of them for dying. He gets pulled into the Dark Dimension with Darkwing.
Yeah, okay, I'm with you. Yeah, I like him. I think he's cool.
I think he's quite funny in a morbid way.
I think a lot of the darker Mark, the better. right? I think the more violent and evil he is, the better.
I think it's just good because it's a really stark contrast between our Mark, who's very like
But then
human.
again, he's gone very symbiote this season, especially when it comes to people hurting Oliver and hurting his mum.
Oh yeah,
Like, I mean, all the stuff with Cecil at the start of the season.
yeah.
So good.
What's your opinions on that? Are you Team Cecil or Team?
I am team...
Team Mark.
Oh, I don't know, because I think the way it was handled was wrong, but we know how evil Viltrumites are. We saw what Omni-Man did.
Yeah.
I'd back Cecil for telling him... For having countermeasures. Maybe not putting something in his brain that can kill him,
See,
but countermeasures are needed.
yeah, I agree. I do think that, you know, using the like cyborg monster people, what are they called?
Oh,
The reanimated.
the Reanimen. That's what they're called, aren't they?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, those people.
Yeah.
You know what we mean. I think that was a mistake. I didn't like that he used them.
I think him using like these really horrible people to get away with. What's his name? The scientist who makes them. Because he really messed up William's boyfriend, didn't he?
Yeah, and we all love William.
And we're still seeing all that trauma throughout the season. And we've also got Darkwing,
There's a murderer.
who's a murderer. I love his powers though, but
Yeah.
he's a murderer. He shouldn't be there.
And he should not have been put on the Guardians again.
Absolutely not. Because at first, when obviously they were doing that fight with Doc Seismic and they were,
Yeah, it seems.
it's like it's a needed situation.
Yeah,
you
right,
need
so-
heroes.
So my thing is like, as much as I disagree with it, ultimately, chances are a lot of those heroes are dead.
Yeah.
Without Darkwing and without the Reanimen.
Yeah, because you need people to fight and you need heroes. So
Yeah.
I don't care about
so
this
my
backstory.
assumption would be, the subtext of that would be, we've made contact with Darkwing, he's on the road to redemption, but this is an unprecedented extreme scenario, so we have to fast track him to reintroduce him to Invincible and the heroes and stuff
I mean,
like
that's
that.
what Cecil was kind of saying. He was like, people change, like evil people, they kind of...
And even like the Cecil origin story episode
yeah, like... But,
really explains it.
but even so, I get that. I get all of that. I'm totally on board with bringing Darkwing back because it was literally such an extreme scenario. I mean, what's his name? Robot guy. I'm terrible with names in Invincible. Cecil's right hand...
Donald, yeah.
Donald literally said, like, this is a once in a... why are we adding him to the Guardians? And I think, I'm like, yes, okay.
I think that was just because literally half the Guardians left.
Still, I think it was to piss off Mark. I
Really?
genuinely think Cecil has got... I know he puts forth this whole, oh yeah, I'm doing all
it for
this
the greater good.
for the greater good. I think there's still a bit of pettiness inside him that was like, you can hold those tryouts, and they're going to happen in like the next week or two, but still put Darkwing on the Guardians, even when he knows how against it everyone is. Rexplode, by the way.
Oh my god, I nearly cried.
Heartbreaking.
It's so good though.
When I read it,
It's
it was...
perfect for him though, innit?
And he was actually, honestly, for me, he's been the highlight of the season. Like, I think he's
enjoyed
been really brilliant.
I think he's been a little bit underused though, personally.
Yeah, I think so too, but even his short appearances were really good. Speaking of short appearances, what did you think of the Sholo Mariduena time travel to the future, killing, like, what's his name? Oh, God. Immortal. Hang on, by the way, if you're listening to this, I'm so sorry, we have just spoiled the entire season of Invincible.
Well, put a spoiler one in the beginning.
Yeah, we've basically just spoiled it, but Immortal. I thought it was random.
Yeah, it just felt a bit out of place.
Like, I don't care what's happened to future Mark. Even if he is Emperor of the World, and all of this horrible stuff's gone down, I get, like, Immortal's been alive for literally forever.
I just hope it's something that... I feel like Invincible is a show that you need to wait for the final episode of ever.
Yeah.
For everything to pay off.
See,
That's why I
is,
was saying. That's why I was saying to Lucy, like, Lucy, my girlfriend, we're not watching the show together because you will hate it because she doesn't like long payoffs. She needs stuff explaining to me. Like, we've been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? And a lot of that is like stuff gets paid off in like 5-6 episodes time or at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And I was saying to her, like, I was watching Invincible when she come and I turned it off and she was like, oh, do you not want to watch it? I was like, you'll hate it because some stuff in season... It's in season 3, some stuff in season 1 hasn't paid off yet.
Yeah, that's crazy. See, the thing is, I've read the first 2 compendiums of Invincible. So I've read well past where we are in the show right now.
So you pretty much know what happens.
So I pretty much know what's happening. But I haven't read all of it because there is so much Invincible. So there's still plenty of stuff for me to be surprised by. But, yeah, the payoffs are long. There's stuff that... I mean, I don't know how much you know about the comics, but... For example, you see in the first episode of Invincible, you see Omni-Man killed the Guardians first
Yeah.
episode. That's on like issue like 15 in the comics.
Right,
Like,
so there is stuff that's cut out.
there's a lot of stuff that's cut out, which means there's a lot of stuff to cover.
Right.
So, like, there's some things that happen in, like, issue 2 that happen in, like, episode 5 in the show. Like, they cherry
fuck
pick.
up the continuity.
Yeah, they cherry pick. So I reckon we won't get a lot of answers until, as you say, right at the end.
Yeah,
Which could be
I
in,
agree.
like, 4 seasons' time.
I agree.
Which, at that point, will be, 75 with the wait times we have for Invincible. So, yeah, it's going to take us a long time.
What are your thoughts on the animation? Hot topic right now.
We obviously spoke about it before either of us had watched the first episode.
Yeah, so for a bit of context, we'd met up at a event, we'll say.
Yeah, we met up at an event and we basically spoke about our thoughts on Invincible. So we haven't watched it yet.
So at this point, I think only episode 1, 2, and maybe 3 or 4 had come out.
Yeah.
And we'd not started it because you were on it. Was it Naruto or the other one?
I was on My Hero.
My Hero rewatch, and I was rewatching Avatar, and we both knew that if we stopped at that point, we would never.
We'd never finish the shows. So
we would wait for that, and then we moved on to it. But we'd seen on social media when they steal the Declaration of Independence and a couple of the
other scenes where the animation just isn't quite it.
Yes.
We spoke about it, but we've also spoken since.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think the audience has focused far too much on it.
I think, yeah, it is like.
There's a couple of scenes, right? There's a couple of scenes which
there's
are bad.
some bits that are, like, the background not moving when people's walking is unforgivable.
And there was a bit, I was watching a scene last night.
And it clips
where
his arm.
It clips his arm. Mark and Eve, and if you don't know, Mark and Eve are sat on the top of a bridge and they're just having a chat. And he kind of like leans back and his shoulder cuts off. And I was like, that's outrageous. But I also did think, because I was thinking about this, because I knew we were talking about this on the pod today. And I was like, I'm going to say a take, and I want to know if you agree or disagree. I would take mid to awful animation with great story any day over great perfect animation, zero story.
100% agree. The story's the most important
The
thing.
story, like, I don't care how bad it looks.
Realistically, you look at some of the best animation in the industry right now. You're looking at Spider-Verse, you're looking at Jinx Arcane.
Oh, Arcane was brilliant.
You're looking at...
anything anime at the minute is just popping off.
Anime's good. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man's pretty good animation.
Yeah, well, okay.
Alright.
I kind of hate whenever you see a person's face in that show, but that's besides the point.
But you look at that, like... You're not going to stay with a show because it looks good. You're going to stay with the show because you're convinced by the characters and the story.
Exactly. I was watching it last night. I was like, this story is sick. I don't care that it looks kind of iffy.
As much as I'd seen so many like memes about it, so many clips of the bad animation, the only one I noticed was them walking down the stairs.
Yeah, it's the only noticeable. If you're not looking for it, that's the only one you're just going to see.
Yeah, and because I was so invested in the story, I'd completely forgotten about the bad animation that I had already seen. So I'd then gone on TikTok or Instagram afterwards, and looked at, and seen an episode I watched last night. And I was like, wow, that looks so bad. How come I didn't notice it? And it's just because you realise what's actually happening in the scene is so much more important and is so good that you're invested in it so much you don't even notice.
Now, I will say, have you seen the people on YouTube who are re-editing the episodes and giving it better lighting and stuff?
Yes, it does look better.
It looks incredible. Like, the potential is there for this to look amazing, but I don't care.
Yeah. The only thing is just from a studio standpoint, someone who is not as who's not as aware of the story, if they then only see these bad animation, they're not going to start
They're not going to watch it. Yeah, they're not going to. But I tell you what, I watched...
So that's kind of why I feel like they're kind of just banking on, we've built such a good rapport with Season 1 and Season 2, we don't really care about bringing new people in because the word of mouth will just surpass everything.
I will say, though, I watched Season 1, Episode 1 the other day, because I was showing my girlfriend, and I was like, I want to see if she'd be interested in Invincible. The animation is so much better.
Yeah.
Like, you don't think you'd notice it, but because it's in the same art style, but the animation, it looks like they put more time and effort into it.
Yeah.
But
maybe, I feel that's something you'll only notice through binge watching.
Exactly. It's the only thing you're going to notice if you go back.
Yeah.
And then you're going to forget anyway. So, it's not that big of a deal.
You just kind of get, like, there was a point where they changed voice actors for someone, I think, in Avatar. And I didn't even notice. Just because it was just so, like... Because the only time you'll notice is if episode 4 looks amazing and episode 5 looks shit.
Yes. That's true.
But going from a whole season that looks the same, you're fine.
See, I watched the latest My Hero Academia movie. Finally, it's been released on Blu-ray and stuff, so people can actually watch it. There is a fight scene where the animation is so unbelievably brilliant, and then for literally the rest of the movie, you can tell it's just like, we're going with what we have left of the budget.
Right, okay.
It doesn't look bad by any means, but it's very clear
It's a
that
step
they've
down.
put so much budget into the fight instead, which
Right.
I must say, well worth it. If Invincible is leading up to episode 8 or whatever it is,
That could
having
be-
an insane fight, I'm cool with it.
Maybe that's it, and it's like they've prioritized, because like you said, it's obviously a very big fight in the comics that comes up.
Yeah.
So they may have just gone, this needs to land, because realistically, how you end a season is the lasting impression on the audience.
You want to hype them up for the next season? Have a great finale.
Yeah.
So,
And they'll forget, like, what you want for a season finale is, all people are talking about is that finale.
Exactly.
If they're talking about earlier episodes, you're fucked up, because normally they're either saying, why is that happened there and it didn't pay off and this and that and that was really bad and this was... The only time a show talks about something earlier on, really, is if it's gone wrong.
yes.
In my
Exactly.
opinion.
So, I wanted to ask you a question
You want to ask me a question?
about Invincible.
About Invincible.
Something big that's happened this season is Mark and Eve are finally...
Uh-huh.
okay. I want to ask, are you a Mark and Eve or a Mark and Amber person?
Mark and Eve, but I don't really understand the hate that Amber gets.
I don't understand how you don't understand.
Really?
Bro said, I'm literally a superhero. I'm sorry I couldn't hang out with you because I was literally saving lives. And she was like, yeah, well, you weren't at the soup kitchen, Mark, so breakup time.
Yeah.
He's out saving lives. You literally saw what he did with Omni-Man in season 1. He literally saved so many people and felt the guilt for not saving as many as he could.
Yeah.
And then she was still being like, I should be a priority.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I feel like people have just forgotten everything that led up before it.
That is true. Because they were good for quite a while. I just think, like, for me, I think it also stems from the comics. I think the writers really wanted Mark and Eve.
Right.
So I think they made it happen. Do you know what I mean? I think
It was
Mark
a
and
bit
Eve...
forced.
I always like superhero couples. I always think that secret identities are never a good mix. I don't think... even when you're not keeping the secrets, like, you see it so much with Spider-Man and MJ. Like, the life just gets in the way too much. And I think that's why... I think Mark and Eve are perfect. I mean, I know you don't know what happens in the comics, but for me, they're endgame. Right? For me, they're endgame,
Yeah.
and I love them. But...
They shouldn't have used that song, though. The song that's associated with Invincible.
I was going to
You
say
just
that.
need to associate that with how you want to end the show, in my opinion. And I feel like they're just not going to go back to Amber after this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I wanted to ask a question, because I know the viewers are probably going to be thinking, Freddie, there's something very big on TV that's not Invincible at the minute. How come we're not talking about that?
Ah.
You've literally expressed your interest in this character. Why have we not spoken about Daredevil, Born Again? And it's very simple, viewers. Me and Ralph are basically recapping ourselves
Yes.
on the Netflix show.
I
I'm
think
currently on season 3, about near the end of it. Where are you?
I've just finished season 2.
Right.
Can I play them the voice note that you sent me last night about Defenders, please?
I'm gonna. You're about to hear me going quite heavy on Defenders because it's awful. But yeah, feel free to show that. I do have a lot of beef with Iron Fist. So
Right. So for context, we've been rewatching the show. I've just finished I started on season 2. I think you.
I started from season 1, went all the way through.
Right, but you started before me. So
Yeah.
by the time I started season 2, he was on season 3. So I had just finished season 2, and I knew that Defenders comes before season 3. So I was considering watching Defenders before season 3.
And here are my thoughts on that.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I watched the first 3 episodes of Defenders. I thought, oh my god, I've never watched TV as shit as this. It's so bad. I then skipped all the way to the finale to see any significant Daredevil and Electric stuff. I even thought that the finale was too long and too shit, so I skimmed through, looked at thumbnails, watched the only scenes with Foggy, Karen, and Matt in them, and then I just moved straight on. Because Daredevil Season 3, Episode 1 pretty much explains every single thing that happens in Defenders. All you need to know is that the incident that happens is at a place, I can't remember what the building's actually called, but they reference it in like the first episode. They will literally say, the such and such incident, right? That's the only information you need to know. Do not watch Defenders. It's shite.
There we go.
So basically, I don't like Defenders that much. And I don't understand anyone who likes it. I've seen so many interviews with Charlie Cox at the minute where they're like, would you rather rejoin the Defenders or would you like to be in the Avengers? And it's so clear that he thinks Defenders is rubbish. But he's going, oh, well, yeah, I'd love to do the work with my friends again and stuff. And it's like, you clearly don't want to be in the Defenders.
You just like the cast.
You just like the cast.
Which is fair enough, because I think that, maybe not Iron Fist, but I think Jessica Jones and Luke Cage were solid.
They were solid. They were very solid. Like
At least the first season of both. I haven't seen season 2 of Jessica Jones. I haven't seen season 2 of Luke Cage.
I've not watched any Defenders-related shows apart from Defenders and Daredevil. So my first impressions of the characters were in Defenders.
Jessica Jones season 1 is really good.
The characters themselves, Luke Cage, loved him. I actually might watch Luke Cage because I love the character. Jessica Jones,
didn't like her.
I found her quite irritating, but I think that's because I haven't watched the build-up in the show. She was obviously in a place. She's in a place in Defenders where she's like, she's drinking a lot and she's really like hates herself and she hates the fact that people think she's a hero and all this stuff. So she's in a very particular emotional state in that show.
Right.
That I think to watch as your first impression is a bit rough around the edges.
Does that come? I feel like that comes before Jessica Jones season 2, doesn't it? Defenders.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. So I've not. I think I started season 2, but I've definitely finished season 1. But yeah, I do like Jessica Jones.
The best way I can describe Defenders is Iron Fist, the show came out, and they went, okay, our reviews are tanking. This is awful, but we kind of want to finish the story. Let's slap Daredevil in it. And they made, because so Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, from what I gather, aren't as it. The story is split up into 4 parts, basically at the beginning, and then they all come together, and the story goes from there. The 4 parts, Luke Cage's is basically irrelevant, and Jessica Jones is. Her thing is she's tracking this guy and he's got some explosives, which is what is basically used in the final episode.
Right, okay.
The other parts, the only important parts, is all the stuff with the hand, which you'll know from season 2 of Daredevil. But Iron Fist is all about the hand as well.
Yeah.
So you're basically watching an Iron Fist show with Daredevil, and I hate Iron Fist. So why would I bother?
Yeah.
It's all explained in Daredevil season 3, episode 1 anyway.
Fair enough. So,
yeah, basically, by the time the next pod comes out, I think there'll still be about 2 more episodes of Daredevil Born Again after that. So we'll be all caught up. We'll talk about all our thoughts. 100%. I mean, if you go onto my channel, I've got Daredevil videos coming out pretty soon anyway, so you can go and watch those. But yeah, we'll be talking about that next time. But just as a quick thing, out of 10, Daredevil so far. What are your thoughts?
Season 1. See, I didn't rewatch it, so just from my memory, it's like an 8.
Yeah.
Season 2, I'd say a 7. I really like Frank Castle. I liked the beginning. I felt normally right. So I think I've mentioned this already, but I'm rewatching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with my girlfriend Lucy, and we're really enjoying that. So that's a 20 episode season.
Yeah.
This is a 13 episode season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's practically half as long.
Yeah. But I like it. It's a short burst.
Yeah, agreed. Even though like the episode lengths are the same, but you know, whatever. The Punisher was kind of the villain for the first half, and then it was the Hand. I felt like it would have been better to have done a bit more mixed.
Okay.
Because in the way that they structure Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is you'll have a villain for the first half and a subsequent villain for the second half.
Okay.
So like season 1, spoilers for a show that's nearly over 10 years old now. Season 1, the villain is an organisation called Centipede, which you then, halfway through the season, which takes place... So the first half takes place before Winter Soldier, the second half after. Okay. So halfway through, you have Hydra coming out and S.H.I.E.L.D. being destroyed, and it's how the team responds to that. So you find out in the second half that Centipede is basically Hydra funded.
Oh, okay.
And the second season, you have a Hydra weapon, which needs to go to an ancient Kree city, which triggers Inhuman mutations, basically.
Right. Okay.
Which turns Skye into the Inhuman Quake, who I love, by the way.
So you prefer a structure where it's we're talking an even split of villains per season. But like
not necessarily, but
more like they're connected in some way.
A continuous story, yeah. So the first half of season 2 is Hydra trying to make Inhumans, and the second half is the already established Inhumans then become the villains. So it flows nicely. Whereas in Daredevil season 2, it was the Punisher, and then bam, Elektra's there in the hand.
Yeah.
It doesn't flow, and it's like the story is how Matt balances the Punisher case and his friendship and working relationship with Karen and Foggy with being Daredevil and fighting the hand with Elektra and his moral compass.
I've been watching a lot of people give their thoughts on the first 3 seasons of Daredevil. A lot of people say season 1's a 10, season 2's a 6, and season 3's a 15 out of 10. Right. Now, I'd agree that season 1 is amazing. I'd give that 8 or 9.
Yeah, season 1 is amazing. Season 2 is a step down, in my opinion.
I agree with your opinions, though, because I think that the first half with the Punisher case and just Punisher as a villain itself and like his sort of relations with Kingpin in prison and stuff.
Yeah.
Love it all. I love that we're seeing Matt struggle to balance the life, right? Mm-hmm. I'm glad that it's not an instant, can't do this anymore, drop him off. You see a progression. You're going to see it a lot more in season 3 when you start it. Matt's disassociation from Karen and Foggy as he becomes more Daredevil.
Right.
I love that. But the Hand, I know in the comics that they're these immortal ninja people, right? And that worked in the comics because in the comics you've got men that can fly, you've got all this stuff. But when you're watching Daredevil...
a lot more grounded.
Because it's not directly connected at that point to the MCU and they're not constantly talking about Iron Man and all this stuff.
It feels a bit out of place.
It feels so out of place. You've got this Daredevil who's constantly fighting gangsters and thugs and Punisher who's just a guy with guns, right?
Yeah.
And then you get these immortal ninjas that seem to be...
Even in the comics, Jessica Jones can fly.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that.
And she can't in...
I like that they ground her more in the show.
Yeah, they've just given her super strength.
Yeah, but it's not even like outlandish super strength either. It's like she can lift heavy stuff, sure.
And she can punch quite hard.
But,
and like Luke Cage is just like bulletproof.
Yeah.
Like they've simplified it and I think it really works, but then it's then plugging that back into the MCU.
That's where Iron Fist ruined it for me. Because
he's very mystical.
The other two, like Daredevil, he's got his sort of powers of echolocation and stuff. And the other two, they've got sort of like enhanced stuff. Like they've got enhanced strength, he's got enhanced durability, that sort of thing.
It's natural stuff that's just superhuman-fied.
Then Iron Fist comes in, he's like, so I've met a dragon, I'm from a city that's basically in heaven, and my hand can glow orange, and I can just basically beat anyone. And I was like, why?
Also,
why?
If anyone's played Marvel Rivals, fuck Doomfist. Fuck Iron Fist. I'm thinking of...
There's not even Danny Rand in Marvel Rivals.
I don't care.
It's a different one.
I don't care.
Yeah. Iron Fist is well annoying in Rivals.
Fuck Iron Fist.
We need to play some Rivals.
Rivals.
Anyway, my point is, Season 3 is impeccable. You are in for a treat. There's a character that you haven't met yet called Poindexter.
Okay.
Who is... have you ever heard of the character Bullseye?
Yes.
He's awesome.
Right.
He's really well done, and he's an absolute gem. So basically, we love Daredevil. We're going to watch Daredevil Born Again.
We just
Next
haven't yet.
podcast, we'll be talking about Born Again. So make sure you come and watch that one.
Right.
Now, I believe we've got a little game.
We do have a little game, my friend.
But before we do...
Before we do the game...
Ralph has never seen the concept images.
I have not. Well, I might have. I went on a very... I typed in Avengers Doomsday Leaks and went on Google Images.
I've sent you
some of them
all
are fake,
the official
probably,
ones.
and some of yeah.
All the ones that we're pretty sure are official. I've sent you them all.
Right.
So let's just walk them through really quickly and talk to the audience. So we've got what appears to be Planet Hulk.
I've seen this one, yeah.
So...
do appreciate.
We're finally going to see who is Hulk's son, because that was obviously shown at the end of She-Hulk.
Do you know what? I was just thinking this when we were talking about it, because obviously I've been watching Daredevil, and like my TikTok knows, so it's sending me loads of Daredevil clips, and showing me all the Daredevil clips from She-Hulk. Mm-hmm. She-Hulk could have been a really good show if it was just She-Hulk in a legal drama, rather than the like conspiracy superhero stuff that they went.
Oh yeah, I can kind of get you there. Because it would have been much more grounded, I guess.
100%, yeah. Because it was just if you just have like, if you watch Suits.
I have watched it. I love Suits.
I think it's a bit cheesy.
It's cheesy, but it's great. It's great.
The lighting is so shit, and I hate it so much.
Have you seen the green screen clip where they're up on the roof? It's worse than Brave New World. I'll tell you that.
Right, but if you just had Suits, but it's a superhero lawyer defending superhero clients from either just like regular people or even like villains and stuff like that.
Have you seen the clip where she's up against Matt Murdock in court?
Yeah, that's the best part of the show.
That would have been great if that was
like
the whole show.
And or like, you know, say the first episode she's defending someone, or no, she's prosecuting on behalf of someone, and well, obviously it's not prosecuting because it's not a criminal case, but you know,
Either way.
she's got a client and Matt's got a client, and they're going at it, and then maybe like halfway through the show, there's a bigger thing, and the cases end up merging and they end up working together. I don't know how that would work in a legal way, but in like a superhero way. But it's a legal drama, and then maybe there's like a final battle where.
No, I think you could balance it in the way you're talking about. Like, oh God,
Jesus, are you okay?
I got really excited about Matt Murdock then. I got way too excited. Anyway,
It's making you breathless.
I just love him so much. But I reckon you could have done it if the whole show takes place. Let's say it's over a week, or whatever, a couple of weeks. The court case is spanning this amount of time. The whole show, they're in opposition.
Yeah.
But they're both trying to track down the real side of it.
So
and they keep bumping into each other as heroes.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe she doesn't realise at first that Matt is Daredevil.
Exactly. Maybe not. And then it's kind of revealed as the show goes on. You can still have her, you know, shagging his brains out like they do in the show. You could still have them going to this family meal at the end of the show, which seemed so out of place.
Yeah.
But you've just got to get rid of all the rubbish She-Hulk.
And then you can end it with like, you know, them teaming up if like they find out if like the villain's not happy with the verdict and he starts freaking out in the courtroom, and then they end up teaming up to take him down. I think it would have been a great show.
What we got.
Yeah. Anyway, that's
so we've got Hulk's son. We're assuming the Planet Hulk sort of situation. We've got all three of them there.
Yep.
What else have we got?
We've got
White Vision and Star-Lord chilling.
I thought that was Nebula.
White Vision's coming back. So I don't know. Are we supposed to get what's it called?
Vision Quest.
Is it called Vision Quest?
Before?
Are we supposed
Probably.
to get? Wait, isn't Vision Quest like a headset?
No, that's MetaQuest.
Oh, right. Anyway, so are we supposed to get that before or after? Because I feel like
it's before.
You've got to set up White Vision before you put him in there. But I'd quite like to see him come back because it was such a weird thing to leave. That's my problem with the MCU at the minute. Too many projects, too many cliffhangers, not enough resolved.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with White Vision. I believe the next image is
God Emperor Doom.
God Emperor Doom with his little right-hand man who is a variant of Doctor Strange.
So is that guy?
Yeah, that's Doctor Strange. I'm not going to spoil this for you because I don't want to talk too much about the comics. So if the movie's hard ripping it from the comics, I don't want to ruin the movie. You know what I mean?
That doesn't look like Benedict Cumberbatch, in my opinion.
Who knows? Could be someone else.
So that could be a recast variant. Got another God Emperor Doom sat on his throne.
Is it God Emperor there? Is he wearing a green cape or is that a white cape to you?
It is a white cape.
Then I think it's outrageous that they're doing God Emperor so quickly. It's something that needs to be earned, in my opinion. You need to make Doom Doom's already powerful on his own.
Secret Wars comes first, right? Before Doomsday. So you can... I'm pretty sure it does. So you can introduce Downey Doom... Robert Downey Jr. Doom...
Robert Downey Doom. I love that. That's pretty cool.
In Fantastic Four.
Then Secret Wars.
Then God Emperor by the climax of Doomsday.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not a bad take. I think you've got two more images. We've got a sort of Last Supper with the Young Avengers.
Yes, I'm seeing Kate Bishop, Kamala Khan, Wiccan.
But that looks like
that's one.
What's his name? What's the superhero name of Wiccan's brother? He's basically rubbish Quicksilver.
Both of them.
But both of them are there, which I have way too many questions for. Did you watch Agatha House of...
I've not seen it yet, but apparently it's good.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but apparently it is quite good, so I might need to watch
I'll take
that.
for you people.
It might be okay.
We've got a T'Challa.
Now this one I'm not sure about because it's not... It's definitely a multiversal T'Challa if it's real. Which I think's a bit of a slap in the face to Shuri if they're trying to replace Black Panther. But
yeah,
I'll say what I've said.
I think it could work for just one film. I don't know if it works if you bring him to the main
I don't want them to
continuity.
replace... Like, I feel like...
Well, we know they're gearing up for Black Panther 3.
But I feel like that'd be Shuri still, no?
I would hope so, yeah.
Because
I love Ryan Coogler as well.
I feel like it'd be really rubbish if they replaced Chadwick Boseman with another T'Challa. It would... I feel like for a multiversal thing of like a one-off, yeah, sure. Maybe add him in What If later on. But I feel like he was a great Black Panther. I don't think he's getting replaced.
I also think it's the way he passed as well, that he was like so young and it was cancer. Because you look at William Hurt's, he was a lot older, and you could easily argue that his character going forward was not as important as T'Challa.
Yeah.
But like the really like, and it was during COVID when he died as well, so it was a lot of misery going on in the world.
It was just awful. Like, and also,
I'm not saying that William Hurt's death meant less or anything, but just saying that the way that Chadwick Boseman died and like the circumstances around it, and how much more beloved of a character and how much more key of a character.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, if you're just a casual MCU watcher, if you say, do you know who Thaddeus Ross is, they won't have a clue unless they've watched Captain America.
Even then.
Like
he's in one scene in Captain America.
You're going to struggle. So that's what I mean. Both deaths are just... It's such a sad loss for both of them. I mean, I loved William Hurt's as Thaddeus Ross, and I wish that he could have been in Captain America Brave New World. Not that Harrison Ford wasn't great, but...
Oh, yeah, 100%. We're both Star Wars fans. We love
Harrison
Ford.
We love
as
Harrison
much as he
Ford.
would hate us for loving Star Wars.
Yeah, he would absolutely hate us, but yeah.
And Indiana Jones as well.
Indiana Jones is so good.
I've not seen the newest one. Is it worth?
Absolutely god-awful, actually.
Okay, brilliant.
Well, no, first two-thirds are brilliant. And then
the time travel.
It's the time travel. Why was it there? Why was it there, people? Why was it there? Absolute waste of time. Now, we've had so many tangents. I've asked Ralph to set up a little game for us today. So he's going to walk you through the idea. I just want to preface this with I do not know sports.
Right. So I'm sure you've all seen on TikTok. Normally people do it as like a slideshow of pictures. We are doing a Marvel football starting 11. That's English football for all of our American viewers. Real football.
I've just lost 400 subscribers, but we'll just keep it moving. Anyway.
Didn't want them anyway.
It is... We're doing starting 11 for football, right?
Yeah. Like Freddie has said, he's not the most football inclined. So I've given him basically a template of each position, and he's then going to give the reason for why.
Yes.
And I've used a similar template, but applied to my own ball knowledge.
Okay, so we're going to start with goalkeepers.
Starting goal, I'll let you go first.
For my goalkeeper, I've gone for Groot.
Groot, okay.
Because my mentality is... You know, in the bit in Guardians when he's getting peppered with bullets, or like in Rivals where you can just build walls.
Yeah.
No ball is getting past that.
He just
uses the grass or whatever from the pitch,
right.
Covers the net, no ball's getting in. That's my thought process.
I've gone slightly differently. I've gone for Spider-Man.
Oh,
because Spider Sense, his reaction's going to be perfect, and you hear the phrase in football, you got fingertips to it, and it still goes in.
Oh, sticky.
Spider-Man gets fingertips to it, that ball ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, but then again, what if one of his teammates gets injured? You know Spider-Man's going to just completely forget about his goalkeeping position. All he does is be selfless. He's not going to care about his goalkeeping position anymore. Groot's dense. Groot's got nothing going on up there.
Groot's dense.
I'll let you go for your next one.
For my right back,
yeah,
I've gone a bit more obscure. I've gone for a Phil Coulson.
We've gone for similar vibes. You've gone for a non-powered individual.
I've gone for someone who, they might not be the best, but 90 minutes, midweek, Sunday, Saturday, no matter what, he's giving you 110% effort. He's gonna, he'll be a leader. He's not my captain, but he's gonna be a leader.
We have gone for the exact same mentality, by the way.
Yeah, we've just gone for like pure heart and soul and love of the badge rather than...
Because if I'm taking away athletic ability, I've put Foggy Nelson in.
Yeah,
because he's loyal to the team.
He's
going to put hard work in consistently, and he's good for morale.
Good for morale.
I was toying with putting him as captain.
Okay,
because he's so good with morale.
Yeah, I can see that. I could see maybe a vice captain.
Yeah, I could see a vice captain Foggy Nelson.
Right.
So your centre back.
Do you want my pairing or do you want just my first one?
Up to you.
Right, we'll go for a pairing because I think these two will complement each other so well. So I've gone for a bit of a for those of you who know football, a bit of a Rio and Vidic vibe. So we've got Rio who's going to go in and smash someone. I've gone for the Thing. Sorry, not Rio, Vidic. Did I say Vidic or Rio? I don't matter. The Thing's going to go in,
I had
smash
the Thing
someone.
and then I changed it.
He's going to be literally clobbering time.
Yep.
Any counter-attacks come in, centre forward trying to hold up the ball, smash. He gets a card every week. He's suspended every other game, but he fights for that badge.
I had
just
the
wins
Thing
that ball back
in the exact same position, but I changed it to Luke Cage.
Okay.
My thought process, he's big, he's burly, but the Thing, he's
a bit more agile.
He's slow.
That's why, partnering him up, I've gone for Nightcrawler.
Oh, that's a great pick.
Every time he misses, no matter where Nightcrawler is on the pitch, he's got that recovery.
That is honestly a fantastic take.
That's dream partnership.
I totally forgot Nightcrawler because I was listening through the X-Men in my head. I should have thought about Nightcrawler, honestly. But I've gone for, and it's a character that I don't think you'll know, the Superior Octopus.
Is that like Spider-Man as Doc Ock?
So basically, after Doc Ock was the Superior Spider-Man, he basically made another clone body of a combination of their DNA.
Right.
So he's Doc Ock with spider powers in a super athletic body with arms.
Yeah, he can play anywhere.
So he's going to stick to the ball like glue. He's super smart, super athletic, and if his foot misses the ball, tentacle comes out the back and grabs it anyway. Does it count as a handball?
Recovery. Oh, it's a tentacle, not a hand.
Exactly, tentacle, not a hand.
Tentacle,
so he's
not a
fine.
hand.
I think he's fine there. So yeah, my other one is Superior Octopus and Luke Cage. Those are my centre backs.
Right. We'll go for your left back now.
I've gone for a character. Now, I was toying with Quicksilver because I wanted someone who's pacey.
Pace, yeah.
But I went for Speed Demon.
Okay.
Who is, for those of you who don't know, he's kind of like a C-tier Marvel character, but he's fast. He's really fast. We're not talking Wally West's The Flash here, but he's quick. He's going to get up that pitch as fast as he needs to.
Yep.
And he's not too dim, but he's not overly smart. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's not the guy who's going to be told what to do, and he's just going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I like Speed Demon.
Brilliant.
What about you?
I've gone for Quake, because who is Daisy from...
Yeah,
thing.
okay.
So my reasoning is, a lot of times she can be a bit hot-headed, a bit rash, quick to judgment. In my opinion, she's going to be up that wing, bombing on, not caring and thinking of the space in behind her, of the counter-attack, she'll go in, she'll be able to, put balls in the box for my striker, who, by the way, will be getting on the end of some crosses, let me tell you. But we'll get on to that later. She'll be very aggressive, very attacking, but I feel like she will get caught out sometimes on the counter-attack.
Okay, I like that. Who have you got for your CDM?
I've gone for Captain America, who is my captain.
Right, before you go with your description, I've gone for US Agent.
Okay.
So we've got Captain America and evil Captain America.
Okay.
So we're probably going for the same vibes.
Yeah,
here.
my thing is just I've made him the captain because he is the leader.
Okay.
He can rouse a crowd with a good speech. We'll get you. You'll fight for him. You'll want to die for him on that pitch. He's fit, athletic. He's strong in the challenge. I feel like he's pretty solid everywhere. Mm-hmm. But I feel like he's a bit more defensive minded because he wants to protect people.
He's also got a shield.
He's got a shield, defensive.
It's all about defense.
I feel like he'll just really work hard for this team, in my opinion, and that's why he's my captain.
So I've gone for pretty much the same vibes. First of all, I also wanted to mention that I've put Superior Octopus as my captain. He's like a tactical genius.
Right.
So he's my captain. But
Good
US
to have a
Agent,
centre-back as your captain as well.
I've gone for the same sort of reasoning, except I also wanted a touch of arrogance.
Okay.
Because I wanted him. I want him to have this, like Captain America, like he wants to win, but he'll do whatever he needs to make sure his team's all right. I want US Agent to have a let's win mentality.
No matter
what, he's going for the win.
Line. Okay.
Now, I want you to describe your description for centre mid.
My centre mid description, I'm thinking like not the most technically gifted player, quite average, a bit all round. Mm-hmm. Work hard, but maybe not the brightest. Was our preset.
So I've gone for Iron Fist because he's not the brightest, he's not the best, but he's agile.
Yeah.
He's quick.
Yeah.
And he can put his power behind his abilities. Instead of punching, let's just say he's kicking the ball, right?
Yeah.
We've got Iron Foot over here, right? So he's going to do what he's told, and he's going to do it just fine.
Right.
And I can give it. I'd be the one making up chants about how rubbish he is in the crowds. I'd be making the entire audience tell Iron Fist that he's god awful, and I'd hope that pushes him to make a better TV show.
For my central midfielder, I've gone for Hawkeye.
Oh.
Because I feel like no powers, so he's not going to be the best, but he'll have that precision, that pinpoint accuracy with his passes.
That's my CAM.
Hawkeye?
No.
Oh, but
same
why you've
vibe,
done that.
same exact
Right.
vibe. Yeah.
All right. So who's your cam?
My cam is Bullseye.
Oh, nice.
From Daredevil.
Same reasons.
His whole gimmick is that his ricochet powers are sick. Like, it's not power, but he's just tactically really good with where he shoots his weapons. He will hit the target every damn time. He's going to be a beast. If he manages to get up and take a shot, it's going to reflect off the post and get straight in back of the net.
That's pretty solid.
So Bullseye is my cam. What about you?
I've gone for Doctor Strange, literally a magician in the middle of the pitch.
I like that. Yeah.
I feel like he'll have complete control. He's very aware. He'll know where everyone is. He'll know when he can play it one touch. When he's got a runner, he can ping the ball to. When he needs it to feet, when he needs to run off someone, I feel like he's got a wand of a left foot.
I reckon he could do some sick dummies as well, and the
some
cake
dummies.
kicks it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So for my right wing,
This one we've gone for a bit more of a facilitator, a bit
Yeah,
more
we've
creative.
got very good on the dribble.
Selfless.
Selfless. They're a
A
lot
selfless
passing.
player,
Right?
yeah.
I've gone for Daredevil.
I've gone for Cyclops.
My guy, he's going to hear where the ball is every time. He's going to know when there's a man free, right?
Yeah.
Every single time. He's going to know who wants it, who shouldn't have it, and he's going to know exactly who's going to try and get in the way because he can hear the heartbeats, right? He's going to know exactly where to put it every single time. Plus, Daredevil, he's a selfless guy. He's a man of God, right?
Yeah.
He's going to make it work.
I've gone for Cyclops purely off the fact I feel like he's a team player. You know.
I'm surprised you've not put Cyclops as captain.
I would have, but Captain America is literally a captain.
That's true. Yep.
So, yeah, Cyclops, he's gonna, you know, and also I feel like football-wise, it's a bit better to have someone further back as your captain, typically.
Yeah.
But, you know, whatever. Yeah, I think he'll play for the team, do whatever the team needs to win, rather than his own accolades. Let's go for your left winger, a bit more arrogant, a bit more selfish.
I've gone for Johnny Storm, the Human Torch.
That's not bad.
I was trying to think of the most selfish, like, self-obsessed characters in the comics, and I've landed on Human Torch.
I've gone for Star-Lord.
Okay, I went for Human Torch. He's got the speed.
Yeah, he's got
right?
speed.
He's fast. He's hot.
Electric.
Right?
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah.
And he's full of himself. He's got
confidence.
He's got the confidence. He's an all-rounder. He's going to make it work. Why have you gone for Star-Lord?
I feel like he'll have the confidence, but not the ability. So I think he will get the ball to feet every single time, cut in, shoot, and it'll hit row Z every single time. No shots on target, no goals all season. But he does the same thing every single time. A bit like Anthony, for those of you who watch football. Do the same thing every single time, and it will very rarely come off. But when it does come off, he'll celebrate like a madman.
Okay.
And
Now,
the whole team will get behind him.
give me your description of what you wanted from a centre-forward.
What I wanted from a centre-forward was a target for those, you know, balls into the box from my Doctor Strange, from my Hawkeye, and from my Cyclops. Someone who wants to win, is a team player, wants to score loads of goals, and will kind of put up with my Star-Lord's selfishness, which is why I've gone for Groot.
I have gone for Iron Man.
Okay, he was on my list.
Why have you gone for Groot?
Because I feel like he will have the chemistry with Star-Lord to not bollock him every time he fucks up. And also, he's tall, he's going to get on every header, he can stretch out, so, you know, if there's a ball flashing across the face of goal, he's always going to get a toe to it, tap into it. He's not the quickest, he can hold up the ball really well, he's not getting shrugged by any defenders.
That's true.
Really, he can root himself in the ground, take a touch, you know, play it into Star-Lord behind him.
Okay, I like that. See, I went for Iron Man because, first of all, if we're allowing him to wear a suit on the pitch, he is analysing everyone. You know in that fight in Civil War when he maps their fight
he's going to
patterns?
go, that centre back goes there, so I'm going to go.
Yeah, he's going to know exactly where to be every time. Every corner, he's there.
Yeah.
Right? Plus, he's got all this bloody tech. Like, no one's going to go near him. A few headers, he's going to be fine.
Concussion every game.
No one wants to take a header against him because they're going to lose their head.
Yeah.
So I think that...
Except for the thing.
Except for the thing. So that's why I've gone for Iron Man. Also, he's got a matching level of arrogance to Johnny Storm. So how you said he won't be annoyed at Star-Lord for messing up all the time.
Yeah.
I think their arrogance, they're constantly going to be in a healthy competition with each other.
Right, okay.
Now, I believe you've got some subs, right?
We do have a sub bench. These are like our little honourable mentions. So we haven't set like, you know, we've said a max of 5. I've got 3. I believe you've got 5.
I've got 3.
Oh, you've got 3?
I've got 3, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, these are just like any position that we thought of. So my first sub is a sub goalkeeper, Mr. Fantastic.
I thought about it. He's good. I mean, obviously, we play a lot of rivals, so we've seen that he could literally balloon himself.
And just deflect the ball to whoever he wants. He'll be good with his feet, I reckon. Good
and
at
also, he's got that chemistry with Thing.
Got that chemistry with the Thing, you know. I feel like he would be the starting keeper at every other club than mine, just because we've got Spider-Man in there.
I've got a left wing sub of Venom.
Okay.
But depends on how people draw him. But I'm thinking of one of the like more leaner Venoms because he's got the sort of arrogance of Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
He's got the kind of brutishness of that.
Yeah.
And also with the enhanced strength and agility that the Venom symbiote gives him, he's going to be fine in the left wing. He's going to send it every time.
I've got a left wing substitute.
Go on.
Mr. Tony Stark, Iron Man.
Oh, he's on my sub bench, is he? Okay.
He's on the bench. He's not happy about it, I'll tell you that much. He's going to make a move in January probably, but I just thought I was torn between him and Star-Lord, and I just thought the chemistry with Groot up top will win it for Star-Lord.
My-
And the communication as well. Iron Man can't speak Groot.
I've got a centre-half one that has a similar vibe of communication. I've gone for Professor X.
Okay.
Now, obviously, there's parts in the comics when he's not in a wheelchair. So when
we're
he
going to
can,
assume that.
So when he can stand, and it's like sort of like the Krakoa era, he's walking about, he's playing. But I think, first of all, he can see every move they're going to make because he can hear it in their heads. He can also just say, sit down. They all just sit down, straight in the goal, right? And also, for things like I've got Groot in goal,
Communication.
it's vibes. They can communicate through vibes.
Okay. I've got a centre-back sub as my final sub. I've gone for the Hulk.
That is just speaks for itself, doesn't it?
He's going to be...
Are you going Smart Hulk or Brutish Hulk?
No, Hulk. I've gone for every time the Thing gets his suspensions for his red cards and his challenges, the Hulk's his backup, serviceable. I think he's a bit more rash than the Thing. So he will also get suspended. Yeah,
okay.
Quite a bit. But I feel like he will... And I feel like the frustration of being on the bench will really G him up for taking his opportunities when he comes out.
See, I've got someone here who I would put in basically any position on the pitch because I think they're quite versatile. But I think they'd either be very good in a place dedicated to defense, depending on what you're doing, or very dedicated to attack.
Right.
This person is. They're getting the ball up the pitch. Put it that way. Vision.
Okay.
They are walking through every player on the pitch.
Literally.
Every single player, they're walking through them. And for me, I think that's just very versatile. You can put them anywhere.
Yeah.
Now, bit of an on your feet question. If you could pick a manager or a coach.
A manager.
So you can either go for a manager, kind of like overall. You can go for a coach who's like actually like teaching them the drills, that sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Right. I would go for. I'm going for an attacking brand of football.
Okay.
I'm going for a smart man who's seen it all, but a bit of a wild card. I'm going Magneto.
Oh, okay.
Very aggressive football. I think he can get everything behind him.
So you're saying him as your gaffer or as your coach?
He's my manager.
Okay.
And then I think for my coach, for my more tactics, hands-on. So my manager's got my tactics. But in terms of executing them, doing the drills on the touchline, being there to assist. I need someone similar sort of vein, but I think I need a bit more of a soft touch for the players. And I'm just waffling while I think of someone. So I can hear it.
I'll just list mine while you're thinking.
You go on.
I'm going for a very sly version of football. I'm going for cheeky goals when we can.
Shithousery.
A lot of agility, and a lot of brutal tactics if I can. Right, trying to get away with stuff without getting red cards, basically.
Right.
So for my gaffer, my manager, I'm going for Mr. Fury, Nicholas J.
Okay.
Right. He's a tactical guy. He knows
how to motivate.
He knows how to get away with stuff as well.
Yeah.
But then for my coach, the person who's teaching them how to be better players, I'm going for Stick from Daredevil.
Oh yeah, okay, that's good. He's got the chemistry with Daredevil already.
He's got the chemistry with Daredevil already. He's got the chemistry with a bit of Foggy because they've interacted before. I think if he can teach a blind man to be the greatest fighter ever, he can teach a ragtag group how to play some football.
Yeah, I think for my coach, I'm probably gonna go with I don't know who's like an aggressive character but still has that kind of that softness with like that. Maybe the Punisher.
Yeah, the Punisher's
a good shout.
Depends on which version of Punisher, but yeah.
I think the Punisher's a good shout because he'll get the aggression. He'll get the I'm thinking like Daredevil, Netflix Punisher.
Yeah.
He'll get the aggression. He's still young enough to relate to the players. Magneto's different generation.
Yeah.
He's still got that. I'm imagining he's just a few years out of retirement himself. Obviously, like with all the stuff with his family, he knows, he cares still. He's trying to do the right thing in his own way.
Yeah, I feel that.
He'll clash with the manager at some points, but at the end of the day, they know how to win together. So I'm going with the Punisher as my coach.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I think we've got a very solid starting 11 there on each side.
Yeah. Let us know who's you think would win.
Yeah, which team do you think would win?
Champions League final.
I don't think my team would ever even get there. I mean, with me in control.
You're not in control though, Nicholas Fury.
No, but I'm like the club owner. I'm like club owner. Like,
yeah,
we've not got the budget.
Even Fergie could win with the Glazers, which means nothing to you.
Absolutely nothing. Straight over my head. But Ralph,
I think that's a good place to call it.
I think that's a good place to call it. I've really enjoyed having you on today. It's been very nice to finally do the Geekdom podcast episode 1. Let's talk about next time real quick. Next time, we're probably going to be talking about Daredevil.
Yep.
We've got a lot of stuff coming up. We'll probably have more about the Thunderbolts at that point.
Hopefully, yeah.
Maybe even another Superman trailer, hopefully.
Maybe,
that we can talk about.
Yeah.
So, we will see you next time, I reckon. Ralph, you have got any final words that you'd like to say?
Subscribe to my channel. We're going to film my podcast now.
And subscribe to me. I will see you all later, everyone. With great power comes great responsibility. See you later.